Right, I'm here at Etang de la Horre this week in France, just close to Lentils. I'm here for a week with a good friend of mine, Phil Davey. We're fishing swim number 5. The conditions haven't been perfect for us so far, but we're hoping things are going to improve towards the end of the week. Phil, have you got a few words you'd like to say to the camera for a second?
Yeah.
Just sort of let us know and how you think the session's going so far.
Well, we're 4 days in now. The weather's been terrible. 27 degrees in the day, 16 at night, but as you can see now behind us, the weather's changed, it's overcast, it's gone cooler. We've seen a few fish knocking around, so fingers crossed, mate, we'll get one.
Thing is, mate, the problem with this lake, I mean, I've never fished it before. You've obviously done a few sessions in the past. You told me before we came that the conditions have got a lot to do with your results on this water. In a way, it's a lot like English waters. You know, you've got a massive area on this lake where you can't fish. Obviously, if the conditions are favourable for the fish to be in that area, then they're not going to come anywhere near your baits, you know.
No, that's right, mate. Talking about baits, about time I reach up mine, isn't it?
Yeah, mate, it's getting towards that time.
Right, and we'll speak later.
You crack on, mate. It's now Thursday. We arrived Saturday. It's taken until this morning to get a line, and had a hook pull at first light this morning. Didn't fancy putting the rod back out on the spot in case there was more fish there, so I cast a relish and hot squid snowman to a fish that showed just to the left. Half an hour later, we've got this scaly one on the mat. You read, Phil, if I lift it up this way, and then hopefully the camera will be able to see it as well.
12.5 pounds. 52.5.
I was going to say it's a nice start, but we're getting towards the end of the session now. Hopefully we can get some more bites though. Cameras there, mate. We'll have it. Do you want to?
Yeah, it's a beauty, that.
Scaly beast from Lahore. Peg 5. What time is it, Phil? It's about an hour after first light.
Here's Mr. Hatton now, making the cups of tea. He enjoys being the woman around the bivvy camp.
More like slave.
Just filming him now.
Have you actually done anything this week? Or
he's only just got up. He's only just got up. He's just told me his little Freya's eyes have opened and she can focus now. So she's in for a bloody shock when she sees that face, isn't she?
Right, I've just got the rod back out after the 32 mirror. Just rebaiting one of the others as well, and while I was stood down the board, the rod ripped off. It'd only been in a few minutes. Phil's just delivered
£50 common, I think.
What we think is a £50 common to the unhooking mat. So we'll have a look at it now. Caught it on the same combination again, Frank Warwick Baits relish. with a hot squid pop-up, snowman. Let's get it weighed and get a couple of pictures. Right.
Don't left it, Mary?
Yep.
Unbelievably only
Doesn't feel that heavy, you know.
44, about 44.7. So it's only the same weight. Surprising that. I thought we'd have gone £50 packs with that fish.
A little bigger than it was, isn't it?
But who's complaining? It's a PB, mate.
Still pleased with that, definitely.
Don't we put it on the water on?
Just shows you, you know, you can wait for 4 days for a bite and have 2 in fairly quick succession. Turn the session round, you know.
Keep cracking. Get some shots. Take the lens cap off. Tip for you there, folks.
That old chestnut.
Take the lens cap off. Tail to me a bit, mate. That's it. Down a bit. That's it. Tail to me even more. That's it. Awesome shot, spin it round.
Lovely colours, mate, like you say.
That's it.
Right, I'm going to take a few minutes to show you the rigs that I've been using at Horre this week. The first thing you should do really when you get to any new lake is just have a quick read through the rules and see if there's any restrictions that you should know about. This lake is with barbless hooks only. There's no let core, there's no braided shot leaders, so you have to take that into account before you make anything up that you're going to put out there, you know. I've gone for a helicopter setup. We're fishing at 140 yards on this lake to a tightly baited area. You're going to struggle to beat the anti-tangle properties of a helicopter rig. They're great for casting, and as you can see I've got the bead that's going to stop the swivel set a little bit higher up than you normally would. This is because this lake's very silty. I want to make sure that if that lead goes into the silt a little bit, my hook link can still lay on top. That seems to be working pretty well, I'm happy with that. But I mentioned earlier that I lost a fish on this session. We waited 5 days for a bite, and at first light I had the screaming take, and you know, you're 100% when you get a take like that. There's going to be one on the end when you pick it up. I picked the rod up and there was, but it was only there for a couple of seconds. I was using a straight point hook at the time, and I think it was a bit of a mistake on my part. There's no doubt at all that beaked point hooks seem to stay in better when you're using barbless. But I'll be honest, I haven't got a massive amount of experience using barbless hooks. You know, I always fish waters that seem to be barbed, and so I use them over barbless all day long. Now I changed my rigs after the lost fish, and I've now got a wide gape talon tip from Gardner on there. These are an immensely strong hook, and I like to strip quite a bit off these off the point and make them really, really sharp. Very, very reliable hook, and you know, since I changed the rig, I put all 3 rods on these talon tips, and every fish has been nailed. Phil made a comment when I had the 44 common that the hook point was actually out of the other side and underneath its bottom lip. It had gone right through. that fish was never coming off even without a barb on that hook. So a bit of advice there, if you have to use barbless, go for the beaked point hooks. These talon tips are fantastic. I will be using them again whenever a fish waters where I have to use barbless hooks. Now I can talk about the baits I've been using. You probably just noticed that I've got a snowman rig on there. Something that's worth mentioning is the fact that there's a lot of crays in this lake. There's a lot of fry, nuisance species, and they're constantly pecking away at your rigs out there. If you haven't got a bait that's meshed, with the nylon mesh that you can get to protect them, or a bait that's a lot harder, you will wind in the morning without any bait on. And I've got no doubt about that at all. We're using the Relish hard hook baits from Frank Warwick Baits. These are 16mm. They're a lot harder than a standard bottom bait, and you can tell it really does take a lot of pressure to even break these baits. We're winding these in next day, and believe it or not, we're getting that. But the important thing is we're still fishing, still bait on the rigs, and we can still get bites. The reason I'm using the pink pop-up on there is because in the past when I've fished lakes that are extremely coloured like this one, pink just seems to stand out more than any other bait, and we're fishing over quite a good quantity of bait out there. And my theory is that if the fish come over that bait, if they do notice something that stands out, they'll drop down and take that one first rather than cleaning the spot completely, leaving me with no freebies out there. If there's still bait out there after I've had a fish, then there's a good chance I can get more takes. I've got, on the wide gate talon tip, I've got a little piece of shrink tube on there. I think a lot of people make the mistake of using too much shrink tube, which then hinders the rig rather than helps it, because you end up closing the gate too much. And so just use a smaller piece on there, and you'll find that your hook will still turn okay. If I can just get that so the camera can see it. The hook will still turn fine. Every time it'll go for that bottom lip. But like I say, too much shrink tube on there will hinder the rig. I've got a little tiny piece of silicone on the shank there that can move out of the way once the fish is hooked. Probably 10mm separation between the bend of the hook and the bottom bait that's on there. Using a rig there that's about 12 inches long, and that is Gardener's Sly Skin in 25lb, camo brown. It's a semi-stiff sort of hook link. It's not massively stiff like some that really throw your bait away from the rig when it lands. I don't want anything that stiff on this rig because it is silty out there, and if the semi-stiff sort of coated braid will just really lie flat better than a stiff one. I've just got a little piece of the critical mass on there just to help it keep it pinned down. That is the rig that I will put my faith in if ever I return to this lake. Really happy with that. The fish have been nailed. Since I've used those hooks, I've not lost any. Definitely worth a look on the Horre.
Well, it's now Friday morning. Been here since Saturday, and I've had my first bite today, this morning. Not a massive fish, probably mid-30. Nice scaly one though. That was on a Frank Warwick's Relish bottom bait. I just netted the fish, Paul's rod ripped off, and we think he's got a high 30lb common in the net as well, so we're going to weigh him and see what we've got. Here's the Mary. It's been in here for a while.
Very pretty fish.
So let's have a look. Beautiful fish in the Horre. It's like English fish. Thought, well, starburst effect, that's amazing. And there it is. Just grab that net for us. It's been in the net for an age, but we've got a cracking mat here. Easy gold.
It's already zeroed as well.
Thinking 34.
Yeah, you're 30.
$36. Let's check Paul. I'm thinking
36 and a half.
36 and a half. Cracking. A couple of pictures. Good. There we go. In and on me. Beautiful.
Scales, yeah.
Like a little petals.
Yeah. What bait was this one on, mate?
Oh, this is on relish bottom bait.
Yeah.
General approach. Keep it simple. Knotless knot. Job done.
Get a leaf off its tail before it went manual.
So it's been resting in the net while Paul's been playing around with his other one. Stunning. Beautiful, stunning. And that'll do me.
Right, we've had a little bit of a busy morning. Phil's just put his fish back. He's just about to deliver the common to the unhooking mat. Not as big as the last common I had, but welcome all the same. Same combination, relish and hot squid, snowman.
That's a shock. It's 35-12.
Seem to look bigger than what they are, the commons.
They certainly do. Let's get one of the mid-70s and see if that looks bigger. That looks lovely.
Right, this is the last morning. All the gear's pretty much packed away now. Last night we got the weather change that we were hoping for. We managed to take advantage and get a few bites. Phil had a 37. I then had a 47 mirror. We finished up with a common just over 25 or something like that. We've not had the big fish that we're really hoping for, but I think we've made the best out of a bad session. Both of us feel that if we had these conditions from day one, we could have had a lot more fish. But you can't pick the weather, you know. You're choosing to swim before you arrive on this lake, and you just got to make the best of it when you get here. As far as I know, the other pegs haven't had as many fish as we've had, so we're reasonably happy. Anything you want to add, Phil?
No.
Fair enough. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.